Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Wednesday the 22nd of May. So you start looking at the euro dollar. Why is it I'm getting texts telling me this is going to, or emails and content saying this is going to go up? In fact, this morning, I don't do this very often, or talk about it very often, but I did look at the sentiment traders, quick sentiment view, and look at where traders are, and well, it's probably no surprise they believe it's going up because it's coming down, and there's 64% of retail traders at the moment are thinking this is a good buy. So it's going down. It's in a downward trend. Here, yet well, it may short term go up. I mean, we saw it go up yesterday towards a weekly pivot, which I was a bit disappointed it couldn't even make it to the weekly pivot. It may do it today. It may pitch up towards that, but it's a very flawed currency. Be aware if the euro does start moving up in any sort of significant amounts. I can't wait because boy will I short it big time. This is a flawed currency and a flawed. They haven't got an answer for the current situation where growth etc. is stifled to get things rolling. So we'll see. Anyway, here we go. So a mess at the moment. It got a bit of the rally, the same as the pound did in terms of they thought all of a sudden, hey, Theresa May's got it sussed. But they soon realise that's nonsense. Anyway, here we go. There's the euro, untradeable today really. Anyway, yes, it may break up through here and push up towards that weekly pivot at some point. If it did, that would be its best hope of giving you any points, because the alternative, it's already broken the trend that was sort of sitting across through yesterday evening, or a lot of yesterday or whatever else, as soon as it started breaking that. Well, you may have expected a new low put in there towards that S1, and it could still happen. We're just seeing the volatility that we see, which what you can call of it. It's only 10 pips from, or it's probably 12 pips from where it is now down to that pivot level. It's not got very much to make to get up to the weekly pivot, to be fair, and it's just become pretty much an untradeable tool unless you're in a bigger swing trade, and that's when it becomes part of its own because it's been rolling down so well. Anyway, I'm ranting here. The pound, well, that also saw some delight yesterday. Saw a bit of price action. Let's just go to dailies here and see what we're doing. Oh, hang on a minute. No, it's gave it all back. Damn, look. As suspected, it's just weak. It's going to continue most likely in this weak zone. We are going to see things like yesterday. Yesterday was I just think it's a challenge to some people's intelligence that they start thinking, well, she's going to offer something particularly great, and I'm sure big money wasn't thinking too much along those lines. But the price action pushed up yesterday, and then and as ever with these moves, you see them come back down and back to trend. When I say as ever, because it was never going to be a game changer. She could put forward to something, but it would not be voted on until June, so early June, and there we are. So if you want to be out of it, and if you want to be long, well, you'll join the other 79% traders that are sitting currently long on the pound, and probably wishing they weren't sitting long, some of them at the moment, particularly the ones that bought up here somewhere thinking it's going to continue. So at the moment it's looking bearish. Yes, it may turn around. It may come back towards that daily pivot. The weekly pivot's right the way up here, and it didn't even make that yesterday in its excitement. But it had a fair movement. There is some volatility in the pound, but we've got to be a bit wary of comments. But in politics, the Labour Party have already said they won't be backing whatever Theresa May said, and nor will some of the backbenchers. They reckon it's a worse deal than previously offered, so you may as well write that one off. So on that note, you can either bet on the fact that it's going to be all null and void and they'll receive Chapter 50 or second vote, or God knows, eh? Anyway, moving on. Dollar yen. See, I'm really happy about things. Dollar yen. well, dollar yen's continued softening yesterday. It pushed up. It's the best trade, and I missed it yesterday in terms of forex. It just literally did it. It pulled back there, and I was looking. It looked a bit bearish around about 9 o'clock. I just left it. I know it doesn't look bearish in this bigger picture here, but I can assure you at the time on the short time frames, it just looked a bit bearish. Looked at other things, and what to do? It went off and did a nice move. Now, from where we are at the moment, it's put a lower high in. Whether that will see a continuation of the upside here, we'll have to just wait and see. But it did go pretty well yesterday, and we've seen a nice trend there. Potentially further upside, but it may just stifled with this lower high at the moment. We'll see. As I say, could have more correction. Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar filled the gap. You can see that on a daily basis now. Completely filled it in the end. 4 hourly. Well, where next? Well, guess what? There's 82% of retail traders on the bullish side. Yeah, we could get a move up. I mean, most of those would come out on that, or a lot of traders will come up as soon as it starts moving up, because they'll get profitable. They'll probably move out a bit quicker. We have got the daily pivot above, which may draw the price up. So we're seeing this morning. My preference still with the Aussie is to the downside. There's fundamental reasons for that. Canadian dollar. This is interesting. Where's the Canadian dollar on the old list here? Got this right. 50-50 on the retail sentiment. So 50-50. Well, good. Yeah. But perhaps if it isn't a better trend, they'd be trading against it. But here, what have we got? Well, to me, it's not a great day trader. It may push up there. I'm looking, actually, it's about time it almost rolled over. There is some strength that possible to come through. If it rolls over with the any deals completely being agreed with America, it may give the currency a bit of a boost. Where to, if it rolls over, eventually maybe down to the 100, 200, moving it back to that 200 moving average. But it's spent a lot of time. I know a lot of you are crying out for me to draw a trend line on here. Well, I'll do that for you, just as it's you. So you see the trend line. I'm going to draw it from around about there. So there you go. There's the trend that's sort of sitting across the lows. Of course, it could just carry on walking sideways and walk out of this, but we'll see. For now, a break of that would be quite a potential bigger move, but may just be the size of the box it's sitting in. Right, that's pretty much it for me. Oh, let's have a quick look at the S&Ps. S&Ps, I was expecting these to roll a bit more yesterday, and they didn't. We'd started in that downward movement a couple of days down. Yeah, why do I want to sell it when it's pushing up here? Well, because it was setting up a couple of down days, and it's got some potential. Big money's starting to move out of this a little bit, and often they're quite good at getting it right. But whether we do this time, we'll see. It's a bit of a mess now, what we've seen there. At one stage, it was in this lovely downward trend here. Last week, towards the end of it, it's pitched it out, and now, well, we sort of got these high lows coming through. Maybe there's more of that. I'm looking at it at the moment. It's sitting on daily pivot. Maybe it'll pitch up to its R1 today. It's a bit flat at the moment. It went really flat yesterday for a long period there. We saw flatness. Didn't really do too much. I think you could be extending this trend line and see if it breaks this sort of longer term movement that we've seen, that sort of downward movement. See if it breaks that properly. If it can, well, pushing up to the R1 makes obvious target for today. As I say, smaller range day yesterday. It seems just as we start looking out of the forex market, the other markets start getting a bit tighter, but we'll see. Anyway, that's it for me. News-wise today, sorry, I looked at a number of different things here. News-wise today, we've got FOMC minutes, meeting minutes out at 7 p.m. What else we got? Core retail sales, Canada at 9:30 this morning. Sorry, we got inflation for the UK. There we go. Have a great day. Bye for now.